All right, peace to the gods, peace to the gods. Sorry about that. How's everybody doing? Peace, peace. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Peace to the gods. Don't forget to like the video. You already know it's going to be good, so get it out the way and enjoy the show. I appreciate that. Who is that? Pauline Filippi. I appreciate that, Pauline Filippi. I like that energy. Keep that energy. I'm gonna try to give y'all a real good show today. What I have for you today is a video review of, it's two of the videos that I posted already. You probably already seen one. One is the video where they're smuggled in, and another one is Ian Freeman. He's in court, and I really I like the second one a lot. It's not getting the views the first one was getting, but I like the second one a lot. I'm going to spend some time on the second one. But both of the videos, I feel, have some very important nuggets of information that I can share with all of you. My insights into when you're going into court. You know, one of the things about going into court, one of the pitfalls of going into court with this kind of information is when you don't know the nuances of the information. The little small things that can get by you that are not readily apparent. You know, that's what you're watching me for. That's what I got to point out, because that is what is important. That is what trips you up. That is the road that leads to failure, your inability to see the small things, the nuances, answering a question, something as simple as answering a question. It might not seem like something big to you, but think about it. They have jurisdiction when you make an appearance. They can't see or hear you until you've made an appearance. So if they ask you a question and you answer, you made an appearance. They can see and hear you. And they don't release jurisdiction until at the termination of the suit. Remember that. So don't think once you give them jurisdiction, they're not relinquishing it until the termination of the suit. Okay? These are things that you have to know and understand if you're going to be effective in court. And so when I watch individuals in court, I try to pick out some good videos. The first video has a part 2. I have not located the second part. I know there's a part 2. It's an old video. I just felt like it was a very good video because he was using, of course, the nature and cause of the action under the Sixth Amendment, and which is a very, very strong defense. And I like the way he utilized it. I think he was stronger in the beginning and weaker at the end. When you hear the second video, you'll see what I'm talking about. But the first video, he's very strong in his stance in trying to determine what is the nature of the action. Now, if you're an attorney and you're listening to my show, I know one of the things that you people like to do is y'all like to, posture yourselves as the most intelligent person in the room. And I've not found that to be true ever. Not ever in dealing with you have I ever considered you to be the most intelligent person in the room. I do respect your intelligence in your fields of endeavor. When you come out of law school, I respect the fact you went to college. I respect the fact you went to law school. I respect the fact you went to undergrad. I respect all of that. I respect that you went into practice for yourself. But I also understand that the nature of your business, which it is a business, is to make a profit and gain, to make some money for yourself. And you're going to do whatever is necessary to do that. You're going to market. You're going to deny things that if they are a danger to your bottom line, of course you're not going to agree with it. And information like this is a danger to your bottom line. So when you come on my page and you start talking about, you keep talking about what the judge said, the cause of action. We're not talking about the cause of action. There's a distinction between nature and cause. You see the conjunction in there, the word and, the nature and cause. Those are two separate things. Okay, we know the cause of the action are the statutory charges. The nature of the action is what we're trying to determine. Is this in the nature of common law? Is this in the nature of admiralty? Is it in the nature of equity? We're trying to make a determination based off the delegation of authority that is derived from the Constitution for the United States of America. Based off of that document, we're trying to reach a conclusion, a determination of exactly what is the nature of the proceeding. Now, you have a motivation and you're incentivized to have a system, a monetary system where everything you do is to make money off of. There isn't any money per se, because we know money is gold and silver based off the Constitution for the United States of America. Okay, that's what can pay debts with. So in an accounting system or money of account, okay, we have to create debt because debt is being used as money. And to the novice or the person that's first time hearing that, that might sound confusing. But when you get into finance, it becomes very clear and it's very simple. It's a very simple concept to understand. Once we understand what the definition of value is, when you don't have any money, now we have to come to a determination. What is valuable? What is valuable? There's no money. So how are we going to derive value in a system that is money of account? How are we going to derive value in that? Well, we have to have an interest in things of value. And things of value are mortgages, cars, land, jewelry, whatever, those things have value. And if we can find some way to get a priority interest in the fruits of those activities, now we can create negotiable instruments that are supported by that, which that now is considered a security, okay? So that's what it is. These securities, like Federal Reserve notes, are securities. They're securities and such because what? The American people are the guarantors for the repayment of the debt. When Congress goes in and borrows money, all right, in the form of bonds, okay, then they issue Federal Reserve notes, okay, which are essentially bonds. It really is a money changer system. What you're doing is you're taking value and converting it into many different forms of medium of exchange. It might be real estate is one form of medium of exchange, or depository accounts where you put money into a depository account. That's one medium of exchange. Just different, precious metals, whatever it is, these are different mediums of exchange where you can convert money into something else where it still has a value and it can be converted into something else. That's what these people are mastering. They're just money changers. They really are the money changers. I understand what, Jesus was talking about in the temple when he turned over the table to the money changers. They're converting currency from one form to the next, and to the unenlightened individual, it just seems like it's just in due course of business. Like when you buy a home, you don't understand that you're at a financial institution when you're at the closing table. Where did I get that from? I got that from Money and Finance, Title 31. I'll look it up for you in a minute. I forgot the exact code section for it, where they give the definition of a financial institution. And a bank or a closing table or persons who are involved in closings are considered a financial institution. That's why they have a bond at the table and you're signing it. You're actually making a deposit at a financial institution, and they got an attorney there as a witness to the transaction. All this is, when you start seeing what's going on, how commerce is conducted based off value. And now it gives credence to terms like acceptance for value. Because you hear that term, and to you, it's just some patriot mumbo jumbo or something like that. But that's only because you ain't studied, the nature of the system, finance, the monetary system and things like that. Now you begin to understand there is no legal term acceptance for value. There is a legal term acceptance for honor. You can look that up in a Black's Law Dictionary, acceptance for honor, which is, another aspect of what we are doing. So these are things that, as I'm preferencing this video I'm about to review with this, because I want people to understand what it is I'm attempting to do. I have a school. It's not a get remedy fast type school or nothing like that. The need that I saw in this space was the fact that individuals didn't have the basics down. They didn't have the basics down, and because there was no centralized procedure implemented where people would at least have the fundamentals, that led to a lot of all these different remedies that people have out there. They just they read something, they interpret it how they understand it, and then they'll offer a remedy based off of that understanding, which could be misguided. If you start with natural law principles, and then from natural law, you can make an accurate assessment of positive law, man-made law, because the man-made law is in harmony with natural law, then it has some validity to it. And then once we can establish that, now we can look at the procedural aspects behind that positive law or that man-made law. And then we can make a determination on the action and steps that we need to take. And one of the fundamentals of that is public and private. We have to start there. What constitutes public law? What constitutes private law? Once we get an understanding of that, now we can get an understanding of taxes, and we can stop griping about taxes. We can begin to understand is, well, the government is telling you if you want to be tax exempt, then just go completely private. In other words, don't use anything associated with the Social Security number. Don't use nothing associated with that. Because anytime something come on the blimp of that Social Security number, we gonna tax your ass, motherfucker. We don't give a fuck what you say. If you are using that if we can locate some property with that motherfucker, if you got a house in it, if you got a car in that motherfucker, some credit cards, we can see you on our computer screen, bitch. We can see you on our computer screen. What the fuck, you think we can't see your ass and you out there using the Social Security number? We can see you on our computer screen. If I can see you on that screen, nigga, you ain't private. And what we looking at is that Social Security number. Is that motherfucker lighting up like a motherfucking Christmas tree? Did you get some new credit with it? Did you go buy a car with it? Did you go buy a house with it? Did you get some Social Security, did you get some credit cards with it? Did you become a surety for a debt with it? Did you go get an apartment with it? You go get a bank account with it? What'd you do with it? You know almost everything, every aspect of our society requires it if you don't know how to motherfucking move in our society, motherfucker, because you can put that apartment in your business name. You can put that car in your business name. You can put those cell phones in your business name. You can put those credit cards in your business name. You can put that home in an LLC. There are things you can do if you will take the time to learn how to do it, where you will not have any personal income and you will not get a tax, motherfucker. We deal with corporations. There's an operational presumption in our system, nigga, that you are a corporation because that's all we fuck with. So what the fuck is you crying for talking about taxes, nigga? We fuck with corporations. You in the system, we look at you. You got a 9-digit number just like all the other corporations. Fuck what it's called, the Social Security number, EIN number, tax identification number. Nigga, it's a number, and it's attached to the Treasury Department, and the only thing you need to know is that what we use to track your motherfucking ass, to see what kind of transactions that you engage in, to see what type of tax we gonna lay on your motherfucking ass. And if you don't want us to do that, then nigga, then don't use the motherfucking Social Security number. Sorry about that. I dropped my mouse. Let's get going. He said, what about dealing with personal guarantee? It is your best interest to join SBC University. That's right. Thank you for that. It is in the best interest to join. Where the likes at right now? We got 111 likes, 281 people. Let's get the likes up to 200, and then we can start. Let's get the likes up to 200. Let's get the likes up to 200. This sounds like what Nomadic Elevation Group teaches: leverage assets and create value first. Well, it's all about value. And a system where there's no money, then the only thing left is value. What is valuable? You're essentially going back to a barter system, but you have a medium of exchange in the form of negotiable instruments that's conducting the business with. Because there has to be value in some sort of asset. What type of assets do you have? You have land. You know, do you have precious metals? You have oil? You know, do you have labor? You know, what is it that you have that has some sort of value that can be converted into something else, that can be exchanged into something else? How can I take the value of your home and exchange it into a bond? How can I take the value of your precious metals and exchange it into a promissory note? How can I take the value of your labor and exchange it into a bill of exchange? How can I do these things? You know what I'm saying? That's what's happening is you have to determine what has value first. And then from value, you can use a negotiable instrument as a medium of exchange to satisfy an obligation, because everything in the public works off of that because there isn't any money. And that's why you will never see in any of their statutory codes where they require you to pay a debt in a particular species of currency. You won't see it. You won't see it. You won't see it, all right? It's not in any contract. It's not in a real estate contract. It's not in a car contract. It's not in a credit card contract. It's not an ADP contract. It's not in any of those things. Because what? There isn't any money. There is no money. You have to have value. What has value? When you sign a contract to pay something back in 3 years and making monthly payments, the value in that contract is your labor that you've committed to perform in the payment of that debt, evidenced by your ability to acquire Federal Reserve notes. It's a gamble. It's an investment. They're going to take it. They're going to put it on the stock exchange. They're going to discount it. And they're going to get an influx of currency based off that discount. And investors are going to invest in it based off of your ability to pay it back over an extended amount of time. That's what all investors want. They want cash flow. They want money paid in increments over a period of time. They don't want lump sums of money. See, you wanting lump sums of money is a stage. That's a stage you in. That ain't where the billionaires and the millionaires are at. The billionaires and the millionaires, they ain't on lump sums of money. They on cash flow. What's flowing. And the only thing that makes cash flow and I'm going to say this, in a capitalist society are workers. But here's the thing, you socialists. I know what you socialists are going to say. I know what y'all are going to say. It's unfair. It's a demonic system. And that's bullshit. Because in everything in life, you got to prove yourself. You have to go through stages. You have to elevate yourself. You have to go through the obstacle course, all right? Having a job is the obstacle course. But people, they stay in it their entire life. They stay on that obstacle course because their vision never takes them higher than that obstacle course. See, the thing that you have to learn if you're a socialist, Marxist, communist that has some sort of gripe against a capitalistic society, what you have to understand, the capitalistic society is the impetus for growth. It's the impetus for technological growth and just everything in society that's continuously moving forward. And the reason for that is because individuals, because of the laws of nature, the law of nature dictates whatever you think about all the time, you'll manifest. So the movers and shakers of the world have learned this law and they use it to their advantage, while the people who are the employees of the world, they don't use it to their advantage. And you ain't doing nothing but increasing that by saying, oh, we need to get rid of religion. I read the Communist Manifesto. It is disgusting. It is disgusting to me that you don't possess the intelligence enough or the spiritual temerity enough to understand that this is some demonic shit. Yes, it was written very intelligently. Yes, it scrutinizes certain things, but it ignores natural law. It ignores God. And that is why all of you are godless. That is why when you look within the rank and file of the communists, Marxists, socialists, LGBTQ, woke, there's an absence of God. There's an absence of God. They are godless. You are battling heathens. This ain't nothing but modern day. This is like when you watch the movie The Gladiator, and at the end, Marcus Aurelius, his last campaign where he fought those savages. That's what we're dealing with right now. These savages, man, look what they doing. You confused on sex. You got promiscuity at an all-time high, divorce rates at an all-time high, everybody preoccupied with materialism. It's just that it's worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. It's already surpassed Sodom and Gomorrah. And our society is way past. They hijacked the rainbow, and the rainbow was the promise from God that he would never flood the world again due to homosexuality. And the homosexuals, they adopted the rainbow. You see where society is at? And let me just say this. I am a firm believer of people living their life however they want to live it. I'm a firm believer in that. I do take some issue with some things because I believe that it is a detriment to society as a whole. Like the promiscuity. I think promiscuity right now is going to destroy humanity. I understand when I read a verse in the Bible where it talks about, people who are whores would get stoned, and the reason for it says to keep the spirit out of the community, because this is the spirit that is pervading the community right now. We're dealing with spirits, and we need to get back to that. We got to stop being so physical, and we got to start being spiritual and mental again. All right, that's what everything is, because the answers ain't on the physical. It's impossible for the answers to be on the physical, because the physical is the land of effects. There's cause and effect. The cause, you think of something, the effect, it manifests in the physical. It can't be no solution on the physical. It cannot be a solution on the physical. That's why they want to keep you. They want to keep you 100% physical. That's why they want to get rid of religion, because they don't even want a pathway into the spiritual. Religion is a pathway into the spiritual realm. They don't even want, they want to close all shit off all the doors. Fuck that. Ain't no God. Fuck that man-made religion shit. Fuck all that shit. You got one God, us, motherfucker. Look to us. We got the answer. Nah, I ain't letting that happen on my watch. I ain't letting that happen. We got warriors out here who's still masculine, who don't give a fuck about that feminist shit. You can eat a motherfucking dick. I don't give a fuck how much you shame, what the fuck you talking about. I don't give a fuck about that shit. You see me on all my social media, and I show it to you daily. I don't give a fuck. These niggas let these old simp beta male manginas let you scare their ass. Nigga, how you gonna let a woman make you afraid to express your opinion? Nigga, you's a motherfucking hoe. You letting a woman make you afraid to express your opinion, nigga, when you know she doing something wrong? Check her motherfucking ass. Nigga, she probably give you some pussy for doing it. That's why you ain't get no pussy. Because she's like, look at this old bitch ass nigga. I'm going to give Pookie and Ray Ray some pussy. At least they'll check my ass. I got to throw that in there every now and then. I know y'all, I'm off topic. Let's get back to the topic. I don't want to go off topic too much. Let's get back to the topic. All right, we're going to get to, this is a video review I want to do. Where is it at? Okay. I got two of them I'm going to do. So we get a twofer. And the first one is the audio. Now, this audio right here, I've been knowing about it forever. Even way back when I was studying this and kind of still gaining knowledge on certain aspects of this information, this was always an inspirational video for me. Just the energy my man put in it, his determination to stand on his square, not allowing the judge to intimidate him. That's why I'm showing you this video, not in particular for a win or loss. See, a lot of the attorneys, did he win or did he lose? There's a second part to this, and I can't remember if he won or lost. However, it's a certain energy you need to possess. It's a certain will to win that you have. And that's what he demonstrates in this. And it also, if he does lose, what you'll be able to identify is the point at where he faltered. Where did he falter at, and which he lost? That's why we need to examine things like this. Even when people lose, you need to look at, you learn more from when people lose than when they win. You learn way more. Because the judges are arrogant. They like to tell how much they know. So they like having some sort of assumption or presumption about anyone, regardless of what, your social interaction may be. All right. I know it's some cold ass dudes, and I talk like this because I'm really talking to you, because you're the people I was fucking with when I was locked up and shit like that. And this is how I started my platform. I started my platform speaking to these individuals that get locked up, dudes who dealing with court cases and things like that, because that's where I got my experience from. I was locked up. I was jailhouse lawyer. I learned all this shit, helping people get out of jail. That's how I learned all this shit. So that's where my heart is. That's where it is. It ain't on discharging debt and all that shit right there, even though because of what I know how to do that because it's all the same thing. Because when you go to prison, it's a debtor's prison. So to get out of prison, you got to discharge the debt. And you discharge any debt the exact same way. There's no special way to discharge a criminal case as opposed to a car note, as opposed to a credit card, or none of that shit. It's all the same. They're all paper. We all dealing with commercial paper. We all dealing with bonds, promissory notes, and bills of exchange. So let's look at this thing. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to it. 1 minute.
I'm here by special appearance only under a full representation.
Call first, right? Sure. You're here on charge of careless driving. You're also here improper passing. You're also here for tinted windows, no insurance, no seatbelt. How do you plead to those charges, sir?
Okay, this is what was disrespectful. The man clearly stated he is here by special appearance, and the judge totally ignored that and read off the charges and asked him how he pled. Nigga, I'm here on special appearance. That means I'm challenging the jurisdiction of the court. But you ignored that. When you know that you can challenge subject matter jurisdiction at any time. Now, if you're an attorney looking at this, you understand this. You know what I'm talking about. Why is it that you're ignoring this? Are you trying to tell us we don't have any rights? If I don't have any rights, that means I'm in some sort of subject status. And I'd like you to clearly define what is this subject status that gives you the authority over me where you can ignore when I make a declaration in court and when I'm attempting to challenge jurisdiction where you can just ignore that. What type of status am I in possession of that gives you the ability to do that? And you as a public servant, what delegation of authority do you possess that allows you to operate under some sort of presumption that you can do that?
I'm here by special appearance to challenge the jurisdiction, and furthermore, I don't understand the nature and cause of these proceedings, so I would like to ask a couple questions so I can properly be able to handle this matter.
Let's start again. This is a traffic court and a criminal court. You have been charged by the police. As a result of the stop, you're innocent until proven guilty with having no seatbelt on. You're charged that as the result of the stop, you had no insurance. Now again, you're innocent until proven guilty, but I'm telling you what the police officer wrote the summons, okay? Then, according to the police officer, you had a tinted window in violation of New Jersey state law. That's 3.
Okay.
And then, he also gave you a ticket for all improper passing and careless driving, and all of this occurred on 12/05/09, which would be December the 5th, '09, at approximately 5:30 p.m. That's what the charge is. In the vicinity of Grace Street and Smith Street in the city of Perth Amboy, state of New Jersey. That's the charge.
Okay.
You're innocent until proven guilty. My next question is, do you have a lawyer, sir?
No, I can speak for myself.
Okay. What we hear it have a very good tactic that the judge has utilized. Once again, it's the second time he told him he's making a special appearance. He just flat out ignored everything that he said. And he started talking about things that were off point. Okay. Write that word down, off point. These are legal terms. Okay. It has nothing to do or relevant to the question that I asked you. Okay. I'm here by special appearance and I'm going to challenge the jurisdiction of the court. Now, you just telling me that I have a criminal charge and telling me what the traffic citations are does not address the question that I'm asking you about the nature of the action. That is the cause of action, okay? I understand the cause of action is some sort of statutory violation that you are presuming that I'm subject to, okay? Which, if I'm to understand correctly, is only dealing with corporate matters, because that is the jurisdiction that was delegated to you by the Constitution in some kind of way, through some loophole or something, maybe under Article 1, Section 8, Clause 3, which is the Commerce Clause, all right? All right, so operating under that, this is where we are operating under some sort of presumption or assumption. We're not necessarily saying that we're right. However, when we go into court, we want clarification. And it is our understanding, since you are a public servant and you took an oath to uphold the Constitution for the United States of America, that when you do your duty under your commitment to that oath and honor the Sixth Amendment, which protects our right to know the nature and cause of any action that we engaged in. That's all we're assuming. And we're never getting a clear answer on that point. So he's going to have to go into it again. Reading the charges doesn't tell me anything. A charge is a lien. I was going to say, let me see if I can find, let's see if we can locate this real quick. A charge is a lien. See, oh, here it is right here. Okay. Found it. Okay, so let me put this on here. Okay. So if we go to SPC University, and I'm hoping I'm in the right thing. Yeah, I'm in the right thing. Okay. All right, so this is SPC University. When you log in, you're going to get taken to the member dashboard. We are working on the dashboard and adding information all the time. Really, it's already a ton of stuff on here. I'm just reorganizing it to make it more easily accessible. So don't really think, I'm not really adding anything to the website. I'm just reorganizing it because people don't know where to find stuff on the internet. So I'm making it readily apparent where to find it. That's all I'm doing. All right. So right now we go to the, what is this, man? Maybe later. We go to the dictionaries right here. Now I have a good resource library on SPC University. I would urge you to use it as much as you could. So right now we're going to go to the 8th edition of Black's Law Dictionary, and we're going to look up the word charge. You need to know what a charge is. And this is the reason why you're seeking clarification. You see, the court operates under assumptions, presumptions, and color of law. They're assuming and presuming everything and anything they can about you because they operate under what are called legal fictions. All right? Legal fiction. A legal fiction is an assumption that something is true, even though it may be untrue, made especially in judicial reasoning to alter how a legal rule operates. All right, you got to understand that definition, because every corporation is a legal fiction. Every corporation is legal fiction. There are other fictions of law as well, but the corporation is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with corporate matters. All right, so right here, if we go to, if we get to, where are we going? We're going to the word charge. All right, charge appears 199 times in C. And let's see if I can get to it. There you go right here, all right? Charge, okay. Now, this is a word you have to get familiar with. Once again, if you're gonna play this game is a language. You have to learn the language, okay? You've been operating under a presumption of what you think the word charge means. When the police say, I'm gonna charge you with X, Y, and Z, I'm gonna charge you with this, you're presuming you know. Nigga, you don't know. You ain't know. You don't know what that fucking word means. All right. You all smart in jail and everything, think you know the law, and you don't even know what the word charge means because you never took the time to look the motherfucker up. Because you operating off of a presumption. That's the fundamental thing that is deadly to the layman, is that they're hearing legalese terms and it sounds like everyday parlance, but it doesn't have the same meaning. And so you never expend the energy in trying to look it up. That's why you can't progress. Progressing in this information is real simple. Look up words. You got to have an affection for words. If you don't have an affection for words, you'll never be a master. You'll never be a guru in this space if you don't have a love for words. If you ain't got a love for words, you ain't gonna be no guru. You'll forever be on the sidelines. You ain't gonna be no guru. But look at this real quick. Charge. A formal accusation of an offense as a preliminary step to prosecution, a murder charge. That is the general umbrella understanding of the word, all right? They always hit you with that first. The succeeding senses of the word are narrower. They narrow the sense of it and give you specific meanings of the word. And this is the reason why you have to inquire in the court and ask questions, because you don't know under which senses of the word they're using the word charge. When they say the word charge to you in court, well, you tell me, you watching this show, which one of these 7 senses of the word are they talking about, nigga? Since you know everything, you tell me. When they say that to you in court, which one of these they talking about? You just presuming that you know. You know what? You don't know. You won't know until you ask. So the first sense of the word is a formal accusation of an offense as a preliminary step to prosecution, a murder charge, also termed criminal charge. That's the first sense of the word. But let's narrow it down. Sense 2, an instruction or command, like you charge somebody, with, like a mother charges her son, go to the store. I charge you with the duty to go to the store every Monday. Then we have jury charge, review the charge for appealable error. An assigned duty or task. Number 4, a responsibility. These are all similar. The second, third, fourth, they all kind of have the same similar general meaning. All right, meaning that you've been asked to do something, or you've been charged with some sort of task or something. An assigned duty or task, a responsibility. The manager's charged to open and close the office. And then this is the one that we're interested in. An encumbrance, lien, or claim. An encumbrance, lien, or claim. And then number 6, a person or thing entrusted to another's care. Same thing as 3, 4, and 5, like a duty. And number 7, price, cost, or expense. How much did you charge me for? So we got really 2 of the 7 are commercial in nature. And number 5 and number 7 are related to each other, because if we are talking about a lien, then we're talking about evidence of a debt. And if there's evidence of a debt, well, what was the price of it? What was the cost of it? What is the value of it? Is it a public or is it private? Because we know in the public is bankrupt. They don't have the capacity to file a claim against anyone because they're in a bankruptcy status. How can a debtor file a claim against a creditor? They're not. They're not filing a claim against you. They're filing a claim against their property, which is the all caps name that is attached to the social security number, the straw man, the ens legis, the transmitting utility, the legal fiction, the corporate entity. Let's see, they gave us Webster's when we really need Black's Law. That's true. Probably the third definition. I know this is usually the third definition, not always though. It's not the third definition, and I appreciate that. See, that lets me know you're using the definition a lot, because, I mean the dictionary a lot. When you start using the legal dictionary a lot, you're going to notice that in the majority of cases, not all, but the third sense of the word is commercial in nature. You're going to see that. That lets me know that you're in the book. See, when you get into the book starts speaking to you. It starts taking you on a journey. The words are interconnected. And you start seeing the interconnection. Once you start seeing the interconnection, now you're on a journey. And you're being taken back to feudalism. You're taken back to England. You're taken back to where they base all this shit from. They didn't make all this shit up, nigga. They borrowed this shit from their ancestors. So if you want to know what they're doing, study what their ancestors did, because all they did was modernize it. Once you understand the history of it, it's easy to see what they're doing today. Judge told me the other day, I've told you already 4 times, sounded similar to this judge. Don't know what it means something. Okay, I don't know what it is that the judge told you 4 times, but if there's something ridiculous, it shouldn't have went 4 times. You shut that down. Like when you're asking, I'll give an example, like when you're asking for the nature and cause of the action, or you're asking the judge to reveal that information to you, and the judge is refusing. You know, you can say, let the record reflect that I have demanded of this court under the authority of the 6th Amendment for the Constitution of the United States of America to reveal to this court and myself the nature of this action, and this court has failed to do so and now seeks to proceed against me under a secret jurisdiction that's known only to the prosecutor and the judge, for the record. I'm taking this to the appeals court and let them make a determination off of it. Because once we put the record in their face, now I want that. And that's when you can tell if you got honorable judges on the appellate court. Let me tell you something, because the judge rule against you don't mean he honorable. That don't mean anything. Once you understand the law, you can see who done sold out. You got to understand, a lot of these dudes are sold out, man. You'll see it clearly once you know the truth. You only know who sold out once you know the truth. Who is the betrayer of the truth? You got to understand that there are people out there, just bad people, and they willingly, choose to be on the satanic side. They think that's the best side. And to right now, it looks like they right, because the people on the other side, they just sitting on their ass, not doing nothing. It says, good evening to you, and thank you for all your hard work you put into your SBC University. I love it. Lots of work and reading, and beyond grateful for you. I appreciate you, Mary Oriski. I appreciate that. When someone is pressing charges, are they trying to make you liable? Yes, they are. When they're pressing charges, you got to understand debtors' prisons. We still have debtors' prisons. They just hiding it now because the monetary system dictates that we have debtors' prisons, because what is the ultimate value in a economy without money is labor. So slave labor has never went away. Slavery is bigger now than it's ever been before. They've modernized it, and they learned to trade slaves through the markets instead of on platforms standing in front of ships and shit like that. They ain't doing that shit no more. They modernized it. They trading you on the stock market. They're trading you on the stock market now. That's what you're not perceiving. It goes on. It says, hi, Yusef. It is worth the effort to sue a bank for breach of contract because bank failed to disclose borrower signed promissory note funded the alleged loan and not the bank providing the money. Well, I mean, you can rescind the loan if it's been within 3 years and they have never given you the precisions in your closing paper to tell you how to rescind the loan, and along with the document to do the rescission with. They have to provide that for you, but they put a statutory limitation on that of 3 years. So if that's not the case, and now you are seeking to sue them because they didn't let you know that the promissory note funded the loan, well, they didn't do any deception against you. It's not their fault you don't know what a promissory note is. You're supposed to understand what a promissory note is. You signed it. Would you put your signature on some shit you don't understand? That's like people, they try to do these processes and they don't understand them. They try to discharge your debt and they come and ask me a question. Nigga, if you got to come and ask me a question, you never should have tried to discharge your debt. Because you just started something and you think you're going to get somebody to walk you through it once you're in the midst of it. That's not happening. That ain't how this works. How this works is we are dealing with sovereigns. And when you deal with sovereigns, you're dealing with competent individuals who have demonstrated a level of competency. And if you haven't demonstrated that level of competency, keep your ass out the court. Because all you doing is fucking it up for everybody else, making bad case law and shit like that, making people look ridiculous. Shouldn't be this many people going into court with this information. It's too many. They're making a mockery of it. Peace, Uncle. Can me and Jazz pay you to look over our petition? We just completed our administrative process. We're going to the law library Friday to study more, but want to get, yeah, sure, that's fine. That's what I'm here for, I don't mind, talking with people over the phone who've compensated me for my precious time. I don't mind that at all. I do that, yes. I was making a special, my Cash App is down. The Cash App people, I was getting so many fucking Cash Apps, man. They say I'm conducting business with the motherfucker. So they asked me, do I want a business account? I said, yeah, let's convert it over to a business. All right. They said, we'll get back with you. Then these niggas shut down my account and shit. I'm like, Cash App, you could tell they still ran very raggedy. They still in the beginning stages of their company. They still got some wrinkles that they need to, smooth out. But I love you, Cash App. I don't hate you. I love you. That's okay. We'll do business again, probably in the very near future. But right now, I'm going to give you a break. I'm going to give you a break from me. I know I can be kind of, taxing on your system. But, hey, because I was about to get really in your draws real bad. I ain't going to lie. I'm going to beat the motherfuckers loose. With the shit I got coming and shit, all right? So it said, I was making a special appearance. She kept insisting, am the all caps. She wanted me to make a general appearance. Kept asking if I was an attorney. What was my Florida? I'm trying to see. What was my what? And where'd he go? What was my Florida bar number? Okay, first of all, you got to master the ability to go into court and not appear like a sovereign citizen. Okay, the verbiage that you're using, when y'all use that real living soul, that's a dead giveaway. I don't ever say that. I don't ever say real living soul. I understand it's public and private. Okay, I approach everything in that aspect. The living souls are in the private. The corporate entities are in the public. There are no living souls in the public because the government only deals with corporations. So there's no need to call yourself a living man. All you have to do is identify whether or not you're in the public or the private. Okay? So you can say something, I'm a private American citizen. Here's the third point intervener making a special appearance as an authorized representative for the defendant. I accept for value and return for value all the charging instruments in this matter and make my exemption as principal available for all charges connected with this case. I do not dispute any of the facts contained in the charging instrument. Please use my exemption for offset and adjustment of the public charges against the defendant, or release the court, order the court to me immediately. The reason you're saying that, you don't care how they respond to it. You just want to get it on the record. You want to get on the record the fact that you accepted the charges. You want to get on the record the fact that you're not challenging the charges. You don't want to argue any facts. Arguing facts gives jurisdiction and leads you to a jury trial, and your ass is dead when you go to a jury trial. You're not trying to go to a jury trial with this information. What you're trying to do is get a stipulation from them. That's the whole purpose of doing the administrative process, is reaching a stipulation. A stipulation is an agreement of the parties. See, facts constitute an agreement of the parties, and agreements are expressed or implied. And there is a principle of law in equity that silences acquiescence. So we have to understand equitable principles if we're going to seek some sort of remedy. And our remedy lies in equity, not in a statutory court. Understand that this is all contract. Contracts are adjudicated in equity. And everything is a contract. You made a contract with God, called a covenant. You made a contract with your wife, called a marriage. Everything is a contract. Private individuals move in contracts, whether they be expressed or implied. All interaction between private individuals is contractual in nature, some kind of way. When I leave my car with the valet, that's a contract. I give him the keys. I tell him I'm gonna give him $10, $20 for parking the car. He agrees to keep my car safe and have the keys ready for me when it's time for me to leave. That's a contract. It's an implied contract because it's not written down, but it's a contract nevertheless, and it is enforceable. Peace out. I'm 20, and this is key first time in court. Could I pay you to look over my petition? I've completed my administrative process. I mean, I can look at it. Yeah, get you a consultation. I'll be more than happy to look at it. I'll be more than happy to look at it. Peace out. Can me and Jazz pay you to look over our petition? Okay, yeah. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's not a problem. I'll look at some paperwork. I've been looking at a lot of paperwork lately. The state of New Jersey is asking me for my registration renewal, and I have a Tesla. How do I go about the registration? I don't have a motor inside of my vehicle. Well, it doesn't matter if you have a motor inside of your vehicle. It depends on how that vehicle is classified. Now, I tell people all the time that your vehicle has a VIN number on it, okay, which means that it was manufactured at a corporation that falls under their regulatory authority because they have the right to regulate commerce. And then there's an operational presumption that you are moving in commerce because you are using Federal Reserve notes or Social Security number. Did you acquire that Tesla with your Social Security number? These are questions that I would have to ask first to make a determination on how you should proceed. Because if you don't have the proper status to proceed, then you just need to pay it and register the goddamn car. Goes on. And the bear last came and grabbed me and pushed me onto the podium with the, I don't know, with the Jazz also inboxing. Okay, we're going to keep going. Fuck that. Let's keep looking at this shit.
Officer, you had a tinted window in violation of New Jersey state law. That's
Right.
3.
Okay.
And then he also gave you a ticket for all improper faxing and careless driving, and all of this occurred on 12/05/09, which would be December the 5th, '09, at approximately 5:30 p.m. That's what the charge is. In the vicinity of Grace Street and Smith Street in the city of Perth Amboy, state of New Jersey. That's the charge.
Okay.
You're innocent until proven guilty. My next question is, do you have a lawyer, sir?
No, I can speak for myself, sir.
So, I'll enter the pleas of not guilty.
I didn't enter that voluntarily. I don't understand the charges, sir. Do I have the right to understand the nature and cause of these proceedings?
Sir.
I don't yet understand the nature and cause of these proceedings. Do I have that right, sir?
If you don't be quiet.
This is a classic example of how a judge try to just run over your rights. It's almost like a form of railroading. You know, he's sitting there telling the man, you know, he's trying to enter a plea form. Like, man, I just told you I understand the nature. You're going to read the charges to me. That's not the nature of the charges. That's the cause of it. Okay, the nature of the charges, are we dealing in common law, equity, admiralty, or maritime? Because those are the jurisdictions that are carved out in the Constitution on the federal and state level. So that's why I'm trying to make an assessment of under which of those jurisdictions, because the rules of criminal procedure operate differently under an admiralty jurisdiction as opposed to a common law jurisdiction. We know that equity doesn't even have a criminal jurisdiction. So you just told me earlier that it's criminal. We're in a traffic court and it's a criminal court. So what no need for me to go into it and say, is this civil or criminal? Because he said it at the beginning of the proceedings. He said, it's a criminal matter. So if it's a criminal matter, my next question to you would be, under said Constitution, it only grants you two criminal jurisdictions. One is under the common law, and the other constitutes a condition of contract under criminal aspects of a colorable admiralty jurisdiction. Now, sir, for the record, and myself, under which two of these jurisdictions are you trying this criminal action? Okay, that's the determination I'm trying to get to. Now, if he chooses to ignore that, once again, we come back, let the record show that I've demanded. You know, why are we demanding? Because we're talking about a right. I don't ask for my motherfucking rights. I don't put in a motion, which is a request for my rights. I put in a demand. Like you demand a speedy trial. Okay, I demand to know the nature and cause of this action. I'm not asking you. Okay, I'm not asking you. It's a demand. The Sixth Amendment is under the Constitution. You swore to uphold it. It is a protection against any encroachment into the private, meaning that you have to act within your statutory, the delegation of your authority. And under that delegation of authority, I have a right to know the nature and cause of the action. And you're trying to inveigle me into believing that you reading off the charges is fulfilling that request, and it's not. So let's get back.
I'm gonna lock you up. Don't make a mockery out of my court, or you're gonna be going with the other prisoners. I just explained the charges to you. I'm entering a not guilty plea. Not guilty is what I'm entering. I strongly urge you to advise you to get a lawyer. That's what I advise you. But we're not, sir, my advice to you is,
I don't understand.
be quiet.
I don't understand, sir.
Then maybe you should have a driver's license. Maybe sit right down. Maybe I need to take your driver's license away. Send it down to Trenton if you're not confident to understand anything. Then you're not confident to drive at this point.
I just have a couple questions.
Sir, sit down. Where's again, our number is, this go, 1-866-1449. Please reference number 1-4-4. This is an attempt to collect the debt. Any information obtained can be used for that purpose. This message is from a debt collector. Driver's license?
I do. It's not on me. It's in my vehicle.
Oh, that's fine.
My automobile.
Now, here's because you said a driver's license and mean driving. And that's
Okay, I have to pause right here because this is where I think he made his first mistake. I don't know how I would handle this, but this is something that we have to take into consideration is you having a driver's license. These are not innocuous questions that the judge is posing to him. Do you have a driver's license? Do you work a job? There's a reason you're being asked these questions. These are jurisdictional questions. They're jurisdictional questions. All right. You just challenged jurisdiction. All right. So now he's coming back. Well, nigga, don't you have a social security number? Don't you work a job? Don't you got a driver's license? What the fuck you mean you challenging jurisdiction? This is the jurisdiction. We have jurisdiction over this shit that you using every day, nigga. What are you talking about? You ain't got jurisdiction over you. coming at you brand new, want to act all brand new and shit. And you've been using these benefits and privileges we've been bestowing on your worthless, sorry ass ever since you was 18 years of age when you got your social security number. Now you want to act all brand new talking about, do I got jurisdiction over me when I've been your motherfucking daddy for the last 20 years, nigga. Your mama was on welfare. We took care of your worthless piece of shit ass. What you talking about? This is how they thinking. This is how they thinking. And with justification. With justification. Let's get back to it. I don't want to go too good.
It's not a problem, but when I tell him he's not guilty, and when I tell him that he's got a right to go to trial, and he's just rejecting the whole proceedings, that's fine. I'll give him a new court date, but without your license.
I only have a few questions, that's all. To understand the nature and cause of these proceedings, I have a couple questions, that's all.
I have to point all this out. I have to point all this out because this judge, at this point, he's saying he's rejecting the entire proceeding. Nowhere did he reject the entire proceeding. This is some of the obfuscation that you're going to be seeing that's utilized by people in the public in an attempt to make you look foolish for attempting to utilize this information in court. He's not rejecting the proceeding. He has a question. He has a right to ask a question. He's seeking clarification on something. He's not rejecting anything. See, you seem to interpret things as rejecting by us questioning it. Now, the only thing I can think that U.S. citizens don't have the right to question is the debt. That's under the 14th Amendment. Okay, but are you saying that 14th Amendment, is that what we're doing? Are we questioning the debt by asking you questions about this? Is that what you're saying? That's what we're seeking. That's what we want to understand, because that'll give us some insight into the nature and cause of the action, which, of course, we are saying is some sort of debtor's prison, that you're forming some sort of bond with an amount on it. And that is how the federal government is financing their activities, because you can't finance your activities through taxation because only about 51% of the people pay taxes. Everybody doesn't pay taxes. And even if they did, 100% of it is going to pay the national debt, on the interest on the national debt. That's what the Grace Commission report under the Ronald Reagan administration stated. And I'm sure it hasn't changed much because the national debt, they did nothing but get excessively bigger. Since the Reagan administration. I'm just saying. Let's continue.
A court. I told you that you're innocent until proven guilty, and I read the charges 3 times. Now I'm telling you that if you think that you can't understand this, and we have such a communication gap, then I don't think you should be on the road with your driver's license right now, and maybe I have an obligation to take it right now and send it to Trenton until I'm satisfied that you don't have some sort of neurological disconnect.
Judge, I'm perfectly capable of driving. I just don't understand the nature of the charges. Not the charges themselves, the nature of the charges, to which I have a couple questions I would like to ask before I can properly defend myself at trial if it gets to that point. I don't mean to court any disrespect. I just have a couple questions. That's all.
Do I have to read? At this point, you're making a mockery.
That's not my intention.
You want me to read the charges again? No seatbelt? You don't understand what a no seatbelt charge is? You don't understand what a no uninsured charge is? I explained to you that you're innocent until proven guilty, and at the time of the stop, the police officer.
Now, what the judge is doing right here, he's playing on the ignorance of the viewing public. They don't know what nature and cause of action is, even though it's in the Constitution. They don't fucking know. So he's sitting here putting on a stage show like, I've already told you. when he knows very clearly that you haven't told me. You're telling me the cause of action, not the nature of the action. And that's what he's going to have to reiterate. Look, man, I understand that's the cause of action. I'm looking for the nature of the action. You keep reading the charges to me. That's not the question I'm asking you. And you keep on acting like you don't understand what I'm saying. And you're the one making a mockery out of this court by attempting to make me look like a fool in the public and to the viewing public. And I keep asking the same question when you know these people are ignorant of nature and cause, because ain't none of them going to look up anything, even though it's their duty to do that. But they're never going to educate themselves on this matter. You know, only a very small percentage of people in the United States of America are properly educated on what constitutes nature and cause of an action, and why you have that in the Bill of Rights under the Sixth Amendment. When it should be taught in public school from elementary school all the way through high school. But it's not. Yet, you will tell us ignorance of the law is no excuse. Let's keep going.
Ask for insurance, and for all I know, you may be right, but you're innocent until proven guilty. But it's a charge. It's no seatbelt, no insurance, tinted windows, improper passing, and careless for the fourth time. Now, if there is and plus all the other stuff you wrote up. Now, if you have, do not understand where you are, or why you're here, or what's going on, but my problem is, with your driver's license, should I not take it, send it down for administrative review down to Trenton?
I'm fully capable of driving.
You work, sir?
Yes, I do.
Where do you work?
I work in Edison at
Doing
Dr.
what?
Leonard's, selling catalog.
This was a smooth technique by the judge, and this is the part that made me want to do the review of the video. All right. So here, the judge threatens him. All right. He's doing the takeaway technique. Nigga, I'll take your license away from you. All right. For an administrative review. And then while he got you charged up emotionally with that, he comes back and hits you with, do you have a job? See, having a job and answering that question, yes, to the affirmative, you grant jurisdiction. All these corporations are what? They fall under the purview of the legislature. They fall under the purview of the Commerce Clause. That's what they fall under. All right, so it's within their jurisdiction. It's a reason why in a traffic case, he just bust out and ask him, do you have a job? Something that on the face seems completely unrelated to the matter at hand. It's the reason he's asking that question. He is answering your questions and he is firing back, but he's firing back in a way that you have to be knowledgeable and perceptive enough to perceive. As far as any cases where this is used in CPS, Child Protective Services, it depends on what it is. You know, it's like if Child Protective Services has taken your child, that's something different, because the issue is whether or not this is the safety of the child. That's the paramount issue. What is in the best interest of the child? And you, in some kind of way, there's been some sort of administrative determination that you are not in the best interest of the child in some kind of way. And that has to be addressed. I'm not going to say CPS is wrong all the time. I've seen personally within people who are close to me, you know, in my life. I remember once I was in my 20s, it was this girl, she had her children taken away from her. But before she got them taken, I saw how she treated them. And I didn't say that to her, but I said, I can see how CPS came in and took your children from you. And it took her a couple of years to get her children back. But I could see why they came in and took her, because she was abusive. She was very abusive. How she talked to her son. She was abusive. And, you know, and it's like, but she didn't perceive it that way. And that's why some men had to be assertive. They had to come in and let a woman know some things, because a lot of women have stress on them. You know, raising children is tough. And just to be fair, the other person who CPS got called upon was a male friend of mine. And and they called me and asked me for a character assessment of him. And I gave him a positive assessment, though in my heart, I felt at times he was, I'm not going to say he wasn't beating his son or anything like that, but this verbal abuse thing is something that I could see, you know, and it stems from some anger issues, not really necessarily have to do anything with the child. You know, it's not really that, but that needs to be addressed, but he ain't gonna listen, you know. But so a lot of times people ask me questions. When you ask me about CPS or you ask me about some type of case, I have to look at, you know, the facts of the case to make a determination, because in my history, there are people who, you know, CPS serves a purpose. I'm not gonna say they're totally demonic. There are people out there who are abusing their children. There are people out there raping their children. Yeah, can we talk about the amount of molestations that occur that is contributing largely to how a lot of these young girls are acting, all right? Because there's so many demented men, their own personal fucking fathers, who want to screw their own daughter when they 13 and 14 years old. You're like, man, what the fuck is wrong with you? And we're having a discussion on that today, how, you know, with slavery, the broke back, you break a slave and bend them over and have sex with them, how that was introduced, that spirit was introduced into our bloodline, because in Africa, that was no part of our culture, but it was definitely a part of the Roman culture. So when that was introduced into our bloodline, it's been perpetuating itself down to the present day. And we need to address it. And a lot of men who are cowardly act out that aggression on their own, on somebody who's small, who can't defend themselves, instead of another man. You need to join the gym, nigga. Take up boxing. Do something like that to get yourself off. So we got to address all that in our community. I'm not going to sit here and act like that shit don't occur. I'm seeing, you know, a lot of these young girls, they've been molested, man. A lot of them been molested. We gotta address that, you know. In the Bible, and this is why they want to throw out the Bible, because the Bible addressed all that shit. A nigga that did some shit like that got stoned to death. You got stoned to death. You got stoned to death, you do some shit. You got stoned to death if you fucked with a young girl's virginity in any kind of way, nigga. If you take her virginity and don't marry her, you could end up getting stoned. They took that shit seriously. And I understand that. It is, the elephant in the room is that we have not put back on the pedestal virginity. You have taken virginity and thrown it in the garbage pail. And virtue. And it is, I can't really blame the women, because the women are followers. It is the men in their inability to control their sexual lust that is contributing to this downward spiral of society, us acting like bitches and not taking back control of our society, allowing these pedophiles and these bitch-ass niggas to infiltrate our government and run our government, man. Come on, man. Ain't no real men up there. What you talking about? I done looked at them. Most of them done sold out. They prostitutes. They just there to make money, man. They didn't infiltrate the whole system. Your whole government been getting motherfucking hijacked. They got the motherfucking movies and shit where, you know, they perpetuating. The music is promoting whorism for your young girls. You know, it's in your movies and everything, they promoting LGBTQ and men being bitch ass niggas and shit like that, and the women being the dominant. It being dominant over the male. They are actively campaigning to get niggas to erase the masculinity. They trying to erase that shit. Masculinity is under attack. And what's funny is that, you know, a nigga don't see the shit. How you can't see the shit? Now, nigga, how you can't see what they putting in these movies and shit? Every movie I watch, I sit here and watch. I try to watch Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, it's a female in there whooping everybody's ass. A magician is a male. A wizard, but they got a female wizard in there, and, you know, shit like that. You'll be a sorcerer or something like that, but everything they are putting in the positions of power is the female. But then you ask who's greenlighting this? The niggas who own Hollywood. What you talking about? They're all Jews. And one of their pillars of the Communist Manifesto is the elimination of the patriarchy, attack on masculinity, attack on religion. All of that. They spell it out. They ain't hiding what they doing. They just know you don't read. Man, reading is fundamental. It's fundamental. That shit is fundamental for real. Let's see. What we got? Yeah, but y'all in the chat deep. So with CPS, ain't nobody, you can, when you challenge in jurisdiction, you're challenging jurisdiction because in some kind of way, somebody's attempting to put a charge on property. Your children are your property. Okay, however, what is in the best interest of those children is the thing that I'd have to assess first. Because I've seen too many situations where I help someone and only to find out later on that I was wrong for helping that person. That person truly was the tyrant that CPS says that they were. It's happened more than once. So we got to make a determination on that first. Because, of course, we want what's in the best interest of the children. Let's go on. It says, jurisdiction, how would that go in a DPS case? Jurisdiction always the same, man. What y'all think there's new jurisdiction? Ain't no new jurisdiction. Common law, equity, admiralty, maritime. It says families should be the one stepping in, making sure children and the families are taken care of. I know a young girl who was raped and gave birth while in foster care at the age of 12 by the foster father. It happens all the time. And I have to not, usually, women look at me as I'm sort of a misogynist and everything, but no, I'm not a misogynist. I'm warring with the machine. And you just not bright enough to understand that feminism is a product of the machine. You're just not bright enough to understand that. I can't even respect your intelligence if you buy into feminism in any kind of way. I can't even buy in your intelligence. As soon as I find out somebody's a feminist, I lose all respect for them, intellectual-wise, because you're allowing somebody else to manipulate you, and you're not smart enough to perceive it. So I can't ride with you, all right? And so I'm going to war with that, but I'm going to war with it on all aspects. It's a monetary system. The web is sex, money, drugs. It's a web that they use. And they got control of all aspects of the web. And once you understand the controllers of the web, then you can understand how to extract yourself from it. You can't extract yourself from something when you haven't properly identified what it is that's tethering you to what it is that you're trying to get away from. It's a list where it's 700 signatures and okay, what up? Let's see. It's sad this topic isn't addressed more. It needs to be addressed more. Because, you're talking about, see, this is why I'm talking like this. Y'all talking about being sovereigns. A sovereign is an honorable man or woman. A sovereign follows the laws of God, which express themselves through nature. If you see nature, if you see a law of God and you can't see it expressed through nature, it's probably not a law of God. It's probably some bullshit a man made up. You got to let nature be your baseline, be your point of reference when you're determining whether something is legitimate or not. That's why in all cultures, it was a part of the rite of passage for the male and the female to know the laws, the immutable laws, not the man-made laws. Not the positive law. We got to know that first because everything in creation rests upon that. And you can't have right knowledge, right wisdom, and right understanding until you have righted your thinking in such a way. And the only way that can happen is when you know the laws of nature. You can't think correctly until you know what the laws are. You can't think correctly. They understand this. They understand this. That's why everything they do is meant to distract you. It's distracting you. They don't never want you to fall into a place where you understand how to think constructively, constructive thought. They don't want you to attain that power. You are the God of the goddess. There is no God. You're the center of your universe. If the universe is boundless, then you must be the center. I got to put that on a meme. Let's get back.
Products. I have a job. I commute every day. I just don't understand the nature of these charges. Not the charges themselves, what they contain. I don't understand the nature of them, to which I have a couple questions, and that's all.
Back off on that side for a minute? Look, I'm going to tell you one thing. I don't need the best. See, here's where you're lucky. I have to go to Woodbridge now. There's going to be another judge coming on this bench. And I'm telling you right now, you better get yourself a lawyer, and you better prepare to defend yourself. What the decision I'm going to let Judge Leonard make is whether or not I should take your license, because you're really frightening me that there's such a neurological or problem with this kid. You shouldn't be behind a wheel. You shouldn't even be in shoes, no less behind a wheel. But, look, I'm ready to lock them up.
Trust me, found you not guilty.
Okay, right here. Okay, right here is where this is an important part. He threatened to lock him up. Okay. Now, they can't use that threat when you're already locked up, but it works on a lot of people. And it goes back to Revelations. Is it 2:10 or 2:9? I think it's 2:9. No, it's 2:10. Yeah, that's it, 2:10. So let's see if we can all right. Let's look at this real quick. All right. Revelations 2:10. Fear none of those things. Oh shit, what happened? Okay, sorry about that. Let me put this on screen. Okay, it says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that you may be tried, and you shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I'll give you the crown of life. Man, that's some serious ass faith right there. That's what's wrong with the world today. The world don't have any faith in an invisible power. They think that is foolishness. That's what they're being told, and that is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Once you understand the principles of nature, we're talking about vibratory frequencies. Vibration is unseen, but science can prove it exists. Obviously, there's a cause and effect associated with a correspondence associated with that vibration. So we have vibration correspondence, mentalism, which is the source of the vibrational frequency. You know, once you understand the science behind all of this, you can see how ridiculous communism and socialism and Marxism is, or anyone who is declaring, from the rooftops that there is no God, or there's a sky daddy, or you believe in a sky daddy or something like that. I'm a lot more sophisticated than that. A lot more sophisticated. That's primitive. That what you're describing is a primitive mode of thought. When we know that the Egyptians and the Sumerians are the educators and the civilizers of your society, of your world. So we need to go back to them if we want to get an accurate understanding of how things are supposed to go, because you still haven't come close to them, even though that you got electric cars and computers and all of that. You deem yourself as advanced, but truly, really and truly, you're not. You still got a ways to go. You're still children. You need to get rid of that hubris, that arrogant, and become as little children, because only then will you be able to see the kingdom of heaven. So, let's see, where we at? Uh-oh. What was I just at? Okay, yeah. Where am I going? Okay, I'm going back right here. Okay, here we go. Let's continue.
Right, but I have to understand the nature and cause of the proceedings against me, and to do that, I have a couple questions.
Uninsured motorist, that means no insurance.
Right.
You got a seat, you got
not
no
the-
seat, listen, you got a seatbelt ticket?
Yeah,
You understand that, right? You weren't wearing your seatbelt.
I know what the tickets contain, yes.
Okay.
I have questions about the nature.
What do you mean the nature? I don't understand
The
what
nature.
I'm with him.
Yeah, stand over there. The witness.
Stand over there. Go over there.
Stand over there. You're not allowed to witness?
No.
No, okay. I have questions about the proceedings, so I can properly defend myself if it goes to trial. I just have simple questions. I just want to answer
What
those
is your
questions.
question?
Number one, are these proceedings governed under admiralty, equity, or common law? Number two, are these traffic infractions a civil or criminal action? Number three, is there evidence of a complaining or damaged party? These are simple questions that I just want to answer the judge.
Okay, you know what, dude?
He's being
Don't
very...
decide, you need to get an attorney.
I'll answer them. What's the first one? The first one is, are these proceedings governed under... you're a police officer with... Go ahead, Dan, ask me the questions. Are these proceedings governed under admiralty, equity, or the common law? Common law, okay. Are these traffic infractions civil or criminal? Criminal. Okay.
Well, traffic is not considered a criminal statute in the state of New Jersey. It's just criminal and traffic, so it's traffic only. No criminal record whatsoever.
Traffic infractions fall under civil or criminal, so is it civil or criminal action?
Criminal.
Criminal? Okay, so if it's a criminal action, are these charges in the nature of a breach of contract, or is there a damaged party?
Did y'all check how he tried to, try to play him? He's like, in the state of New Jersey, we don't have criminal action. We just got, what did he say? We got traffic and criminal. And he said, well, nigga, did it fall under civil or criminal? He said under criminal. He just contradicted himself that fast. Go back and rewind the tape and listen to this. See, this is the kind of shit that'll get away from you. They're trying, see, what you have to understand, once you know the truth, it's easy to see deception. Once you know the truth, it's easy to see deception. Have you ever done this? I remember, this is how I operate. I don't never question a woman until I know for a fact what went on. So I'll ask a question just to see how they lie. Have you ever done that? Like, I already know, I already got all the facts. I got the motherfucking videotape. I got the transcript, everything. I got everything. So I'm gonna ask her, did you do so-and-so and so-and-so? And she say, no, what are you talking about? And I look them right in their face and I see, this motherfucker is lying to me right in my face. And you study it. You study their facial expressions. And you just like, God damn, this motherfucker's good. I was falling for this shit. This motherfucker just lying right in my face. I just don't think there's nothing worse than somebody lie to you right to your fucking face. You got to have a certain type of character about yourself. If you can do that and not, I can understand if you're operating in fear, but I think once you mature as a human being, you find you come to realization that it never leads to anything positive in your life. And that's what they doing. That's why this shit is growing on their ass, because they looking right in our face lying. We sitting there asking them questions. And that's why you see, I do these video reviews because the average person is not going to be able to see it, but you can sit there and once you know the truth, you can pick it out just right, left, right, just one after the other. Like, goddamn. And then now you can make a proper assessment of your public service. You say, this is a sellout motherfucker. This is an evil ass bitch. We need to get this motherfucker up out of here. He don't deserve the honor of working in public service. This is what you're going to see. I'm telling you what you're going to see if you're interested in this subject. If you're not interested in this subject, you'll never see it. This is the only subject I think that tells the truth. You watch Fox News and all that bullshit, that's Hollywood, nigga. You ain't gonna learn nothing watching that shit. That's entertainment. You don't learn nothing watching that shit. Them niggas right there, everything, they whole motherfucking platform is based off of presenting information to keep you away from the truth. Everything about that, the movies, the music, the news, the magazines, every fucking thing they do is geared toward making sure that you never figure out the truth. Let's keep going.
The damaged party would be the state of New Jersey.
Okay, is there evidence of a complaining or damaged party?
Whoever the officer was that signed the complaint.
The officer is the witness, correct?
He's the one that signed the complaint.
Right.
The
So
traffic ticket.
is he the damaged party?
The state is. The state of New
Okay.
Jersey.
If there is a damaged party, I would like to see the verified complaint signed under penalty of perjury. And if the state of New Jersey, correct, is the damaged party, then I would like to see evidence of the existence of the damaged party. In other words, the evidence, not who the complaint party is, but evidence
I understand
of
what
the
you're saying.
existence of such. And I want these questions answered by the judge so I can properly defend myself.
The judge here is governed by the administrative law judge in New Brunswick.
Okay,
But wait, I'm not.
Yeah, see, I just ignored all that shit he said. Who's the injured party? He talking about what it's governed by. No, nigga. Okay. See now, dude, he's making a presumption that they're operating under common law, which I don't ever recommend that. You ask questions to make a determination whether or not we're operating under common law. Your Honor, is this civil or criminal? This is criminal. Okay, thank you. Let the record show that the action being brought against the defendant is a criminal action. Now, sir, I have another question. The Constitution for the United States of America only grants this court two criminal jurisdictions. One is under the common law. The other constitutes a condition of contract under criminal aspects of a colorable admiralty jurisdiction. Now, sir, would you please tell me and this court, for the record, under which two of these criminal jurisdictions you're trying this criminal action? Telling me it's a criminal jurisdiction don't tell me nothing. There's two criminal jurisdictions in the Constitution. All right. We know that admiralty has a criminal jurisdiction, but it's civil in nature, which means it's about money. Anytime you see civil, it's about money. That's why they don't want you to know it's civil. But all crimes are civil in nature, because that's why we have debtors' prisons to this day, because they need it to be civil, because that's how they create money. They have to create a debt. A charge is a lien. This is why they don't want you to know. And once you find that out, there's no money to pay a debt with. They'd have to empty the prisons. That's why they're going to battle with you in the public, motherfucker. That's why they will never admit this in the public. If you're looking for them to admit this, you're crazy. The best technique that you can utilize is something that is completely private, that they respect, or you have to corner them where they have no choice. Those are your two options. Let's keep going.
I've done talking. For you to do that, you have to request a copy of a copy of the case proceedings here. Okay. When those proceedings are given to you, they are given to the head, like judge of all the municipal court judges. He is the one who reviews everything, and he is the one that will be answering the questions to you the way you want to be answered. But to do that, it's a complicated way to request those recordings, and there's a fee. That's what the judge says. If you would, the best way, which we tell everybody, if they want to get copies of the recordings, is to get an attorney, because there's a legal way to go about it.
Why is the judge avoiding my question?
Because he's the judge and he can't do that.
So he's not bound by anything?
I gotta tell y'all a story right here. They run off of a script because they all say that why the judge can do whatever he wants. The judge can't do whatever he wants, motherfucker. The judge can only do what they have been delegated authority to do under the Constitution of the United States of America and the legislature. When they act outside the ambit of that delegated authority, they become personally liable. Okay? All right, you can try to get us to believe that, but that's bullshit. The judge is not some super person. All equal under the law, motherfucker. All right, all are equal under the law. I had that happen to me. You know, I went into a courthouse, right? And I'm trying to get the judge's oath of office. And I usually go in, and this is why you can't really deal with courthouses. You got to understand that the courthouses, everybody in there is on the same team. On the next video, dude talks about that, like how he came into the court. Now the clerk was treating him funny now. First, the clerk was all happy with him and everything. Now he come in, the clerk is treating him like shit. And that's what happened to me. You know, at first I was able to go into the clerk's office and get a copy of the judge's oath of office. It's either the whoever the custodian of those documents are, the judge keeps a copy in their chambers. They have one at the clerk's office, and they will have one at the Secretary of State. So when I came in there and asked her for a copy, she handed me a photographic copy. I said, ma'am, this is a photographic copy. I can't do nothing with this. She said, we don't give out originals. I said, you just gave me out one 2 weeks ago. She just looked at me with a blank stare and didn't say nothing. And I said, that's okay. I'll get it from the Secretary of State. As I turned to walk out, she hit a button under her desk. I saw her when she did it, but I walked out calmly, didn't get angry, didn't say anything derogatory to her, anything like that. I'm in a courthouse. I've been locked up before. I know how to act in those areas. I'm not going to do something stupid that's going to draw attention to myself or get me locked up. And already in the fact I'm going up into this courtroom challenging jurisdiction and doing all this shit. So I'm definitely not going to do anything crazy down in the clerk's office. So when she pushed that button, I saw about 5 sheriff deputies rush in. And they ran to her, but as they were running to her, I walked out of the office. But I could see them in the corner of my eye and her pointing at me. So I walked to the elevator. They come to the elevator. As the elevator about to close, they come stop the elevator. Sir, step off the elevator. Step off the elevator. I calmly step off the elevator. I said, how can I help you, gentlemen? We were just told that you were harassing the clerks. I said, I was not harassing the clerks. As a matter of fact, I was speaking to the clerks, much like the way I'm speaking to you right now. He said, well, that's not what we heard. So I said, well, do you have videotapes in the clerk's office? He said, yeah. I said, yes. So I said, well, let's go look at the tape. Let's go look at the tape. He said, and so about that time, the lieutenant or sergeant or somebody rolled up. And he said, what's going on right here? He said, this person wants to get a copy of the judge's oath of office. He said, why do you want a copy of the judge's oath of office? He said, the judge can do whatever she wants to do. I said, no, she can't. I said, the judge has to act within the ambit of her delegated authority. Once she's acted outside that ambit, she becomes susceptible to a claim, a lien against a bond, which will make her uninsurable for public service. He told all the officers, leave. Soon as I said that, he didn't say another word. It's about 5 other officers. He said, y'all all go. He sent them on their way. And he said, how do you know this? He said, not everybody knows this. I said, a lot of people don't know their constitutional rights either. All right, so then he had somebody come and escort me off the premises. And when I say escort off the premises, they're doing that to make sure that you don't get hurt because they don't want you filing no claims against them. So they didn't touch me or nothing. They got 2 officers to come, walk me out the front door. They didn't just walk me out the front door. They walked me all the way to the curb and told me to go all the way across the street. And once I got across the street, then they turned around and went back in and said, don't come back on this property. That's the power of knowing what you're supposed to do. They are bonded. Their bond, that when you get their oath of office, that is their bond. A bond is a promise. When they make a promise to uphold the Constitution, that's their bond. Their word is bond. That has value attached to it. That's why they have a risk management. Risk management is to make a determination. That's insurance. And if they get too many claims against someone, they got to drop them off the insurance. And if they drop them off the insurance, they can't be in public service no more because everybody in public service got to be insured. Everybody in public service has to make an oath or make a promise to uphold the Constitution. And when they stop doing that, they have forfeited their right to receive a check at the expense of taxpayers. And we need to sit their ass on the bench and not feel fucking sorry for them at all. That's where you got to get back to. Talking about you want to be sovereign. Let's keep going. Let's hear what else they got to say.
own discretion?
That's right. Unfortunately, that's what it is. And he has a boss, the judge that's going to hear the transcripts.
Right.
If he decides in your favor, good for you. If he complies with...
How would I be entitled to a fair hearing and a meaningful hearing if I can't get any answers to any questions? How is that possible?
With an attorney.
With an attorney. Well, an attorney is an officer of the court, whose first duty is
Not
to
really,
the court.
no. The attorney is the one you hire.
Right, but an attorney is the officer of the court.
That's the prosecutor and
Attorneys are licensed by the state to practice law, is that correct? That's not correct.
Nope, not to practice law outside. This is not in the courtroom, in the court building.
Okay, believe it or not, he told the truth right there. Attorneys are not licensed by the state. We sent a money order for, you can do this too yourself. We sent a $100 money order to the Bar Association and asked them for a copy of the license of a list of attorneys. They wrote back and said, we don't issue license for attorneys. The Supreme Court does. So we turned around, took another $100 money order, sent it to the Supreme Court of California, and asked for a list of a copy of the license for specific attorneys. They wrote back and said, we don't have that, we don't issue that. Then the clerk put in the envelope a copy of Paul Andrew Mitchell's case where he was suing the state of California for attorneys practicing law without a license. I'm gonna see if I can dig that up and show it to you, because they didn't have a license. And really what it is, as I did further research, the license is not express, it's implied. They have an implied license to come into the court once they get a bar card. So now they have permission. A license is permission. So they are receiving permission to come into the court. So he was pulling out of the definition, out of corpus juris secundii for attorneys, that they are officers of the court. And he's absolutely correct on that. The judge is an officer of the court. And that's what the old dude is going to bring up in the next video. He's going to say, how am I going to get a fair trial when you work for the state, the prosecutor works for the state, the sheriffs work for the state, everybody works for the state, and I'm going to get an unbiased trial? You're not. I can tell you you're not. They're going to tell you you are, but you're not, because everybody works for the state. Why would the state rule against itself? That's why they have a 98.6% conviction rate, nigga. And I don't even know what the 1.4 is, because I ain't even seen that. They just say that shit. They got a 98.6% conviction rate. I'm like, well, shit, show me the 1.4, because I don't even see that shit. I don't even see the 1.4, nigga. I'm just saying. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
There's just two. There's the judge, there's the prosecutor, and then there's the public defender. Those are the three people who are associated with the court. Everyone else is like a private attorney.
Okay, so to be an attorney, do you have to be a member of the Bar Association?
I believe so. I have no knowledge
Okay,
of that.
so in other words, you have to be licensed by the state.
I don't have the knowledge for that. You have to contact a lawyer.
Okay, these are questions. I mean,
okay.
I just, like I said, I'm just being reasonable. I just had a couple questions for the judge, and he's being.
He doesn't have to answer.
He seems very violent.
He really doesn't have to answer. No,
he seems like a very violent.
The only other person that could talk to you would be an attorney of your own. That represents you and your interests.
I can speak for myself. I won't be getting an attorney.
That's up.
When they try to saddle, you got to watch out for this too. When they try to saddle you with an attorney, because you got to write a self-representation. That's in the Sixth Amendment. You need to know that. I've had judges try that on me. You need to get an attorney. I'm saying, I'm sorry, Your Honor, I beg to differ, objection, but the Constitution of the United States of America protects my right of self-representation. Okay. They're just trying to see what you know. Sometimes you get hit with stuff to see what you know. You need to go get an attorney. What you mean I need to get an attorney? I don't have to have no fucking attorney. I can represent myself and my proper person. That's what the Constitution of the United States of America, under the authority of the Sixth Amendment, protects. Now, you can conduct some sort of colloquy if you want to make a determination of my mental competency to see whether or not I'm competent enough to represent myself or assist my attorney with my defense. I understand that. That's nothing but a banter back and forth in court when, you're going to try to talk to me in court. But absent that, sir, I see no reason for you to try to saddle me with an attorney. Now, let me tell y'all this. It's okay if they give you a public defender. Do never turn down a public defender, because you need to have a letter of instruction ready for a public defender, and you're going to give him that. You're not going to let a public defender run amok, unshackled. You're going to lock his ass down under a contract. Or he can recuse himself from the case and then put on the record why he's recusing himself. Failure to follow instructions. Your Honor, counsel is fired. Therefore, counsel is no longer necessary. I'd like to make a part of the record the instructions for counsel which he refused to follow, and then read your letter of instruction into the record. Put his dishonor on the record for all to see. You're making a record of stuff. When somebody dishonors you, make a record of it. What do you think a certificate of non-response is? That's a record of someone's non-response, a record of someone's dishonor. It's about honor and dishonor. Okay, in a court of equity, you use different terms: clean hands and good faith. Can you verify that you've acted with clean hands and in good faith? To get equity, you must do equity. Let's continue.
See you then, but now since I wasn't in here, what did he say about your tickets? Were they dismissed or what?
He didn't say anything. Well, he just said he was telling me what I'm charged with. He wanted me to answer. I told him that I'm here by special appearance, which legally means I'm here to challenge the jurisdiction of the court.
Okay.
And I had a couple of questions because I don't understand the charges, and I have the right to understand the nature and cause of these proceedings against me.
Well,
He
said he explained it to you, so I got to go. Well,
I
you didn't understand
I didn't ask any questions.
Well,
I didn't get my
then you
chance.
have to, well, like he said, your best bet, get an attorney to represent you. If you can't afford one, public defender.
All right, I will not be getting an attorney.
All right,
They don't.
then your matter's going to be rescheduled, so.
It's going to be rescheduled by another judge?
I don't know. You might be here, might be someone else. There's 3 or 4 judges that working for
Okay,
example.
because
It'll probably about 3 weeks.
Okay, because the judge seems very violent.
If you don't want to deal with him, I can have him set for another judge if you want.
Another judge? I can get a judge? Okay, how would I go about getting a different judge?
Nothing, just go home and it'll be scheduled for a different time.
Okay, because this judge seems to have some kind of personal, I don't know.
Okay, enough talking here. They got to talk to you, Bob, and they got to go down that way now.
Go down this way?
Go down that way now.
Go for it. So that would be the best. Okay, so this hearing here.
Here's the question you got to ask yourself. What did he do that would merit all of that aggressiveness that they displaying? He just asked him a question according to the Constitution. He wasn't disrespectful at any point. He even reiterated several times, I don't mean to be disrespectful. Why is everybody so angry? That's one of the questions you're going to ask yourself your first time in court if you haven't went into court. And you get into someone who's angry at you because you challenge jurisdiction. When it's your right, it's a point of law. Subject matter jurisdiction can be challenged at any time. For a court to have subject matter jurisdiction, there must be someone who's standing and a real party in interest. And if any of those prongs can't be fulfilled, then the court doesn't have subject matter. And then I can move for a dismissal. So I'm not understanding, why you getting all emotional a lot of times when people come into court and just ask you questions. That right there make you look guilty. You know what? Let me tell you something. If you're an attorney watching me right now, I know you watching right now, so I'm just going to hit you with something because I know you arrogant. I'm arrogant too. I think I'm more intelligent than you are, all right? I'm going to keep it a stack. I just don't think I think you have limited intelligence. I think the education that you received in law school is subpar and it's inferior. All right, I just do. All right, you're arrogant. I'm arrogant. We're both arrogant. I just think I'm superior to you, okay? I'm just going to let you know. And here's the thing. Your continued disrespect of people who come into court, you're never going to stop the tide that is coming on by disrespecting and trying to clown people. Only when you start addressing their questions with civility and with respect, I think you'll start to see things start to change. But as long as you address these questions with this air of arrogancy, people can see right through that. They can see the right behind all this bravado, they can see the insecurity that lies behind it. You can hear it. I can hear it in that judge's voice. He's trying to use threat, duress, and intimidation. Usually anger is a sign of fear. Anger is directly connected with fear. So my question would be, why is this judge angry? My question is, if this judge is angry, has he lost his ability to adjudicate the matter with fairness and impartiality? He's supposed to be an unbiased arbiter in a dispute between two opposing parties. Has he lost the ability to do that by exemplifying all these emotions when we are in a proceeding that's supposed to be a venue for gentlemen? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Let's continue.
Today is over.
Done.
It's done, so it's being rescheduled,
For about 3 or 4 weeks.
and I will get something in the mail.
Same address that's on the tickets, with the same address you live at now? That's where the
Okay, and they're gonna, do I have to request a different judge, or will it automatically?
I will take care of that.
Do that for me, because he seems like a very violent individual, and he's not willing to answer any reasonable questions that I have. So I don't feel like I'm getting a fair and meaningful hearing.
Okay, and we'll give you another judge then.
Okay.
All right then?
And hopefully the next judge won't be as violent and vicious with me.
That won't be a problem. Would you prefer a morning session or a night session? What's better for you?
Preferably a night session. Preferably a night session, that would be possible. I mean, do I seem like a reasonable individual?
You're asking questions that I can't answer.
I mean, from a personal perspective, do I seem like a reasonable? I just have a couple questions, that's it. And he's yelling at me in this belligerent, violent manner.
See, that's your opinion. That's not mine, that's not his. So that's where we're at right now.
Okay, so I can just make sure I can get a different judge, because this guy really...
Not a problem. As long as your address is correct, then we'll reschedule it for about 3 to 4 weeks, and we'll do it on another night other than this judge.
Okay, so am I not going to get, there's going to be no warrants on the record, there's going to be no warrants, I'm going to get something in the mail.
Just ask for his room.
Okay, what is your name, sir? Officer.
Yep.
Okay, it was nice to meet you, thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Take care. Have a good night.
I'm sure some of y'all got a chance to watch this. This video, there's a part 2, and I have watched part 2, where he actually gets to come back in court. He's going to have the same judge, and the judge is going to have to allow him to ask all his questions. It's been so long I don't remember the outcome, but I'm trying to dig it up right now. As soon as I find it, I will post it on the website. This is one of those jewels that I dug a long time to find this video, because somebody contacted me for a consultation. They were going into court, and I wanted to give them something that could help them understand what they're going to deal with when they're in court. And I was able, it took me a while, but I found this video. I'm looking for part 2 of it. There's a part 2 to this. There's a part 2 to this. All right, so I'm going to try to locate that, and I'm going to put that on the website as well. That's it for me today. I want to thank, I'm going to do the other video tomorrow. I ain't going to do that right now. But I appreciate, I got, the donations, super chats get answered first. I'll answer a couple of questions, but the super chats, everything with a color on it, get answered first. So, if you want to ask a question, this is the time to ask your question. If you want to ask a question, I'll wait. I'll give y'all about 10 minutes. Let's see. Yusef, check your P.O. box. Okay. What of God? I appreciate everything you're doing for us. My name is Solar Energy God, and I'm having okay. The person he's talking to know the judge is tripping. Okay. A term that seems lost. Vactus, what is, I don't know if you're talking about, vicoactus, or I thought it was viafeci. You have coactus feci too, which means you have caused me to do. Please look this one up. It basically means have been forced. You have forced me to do it. It's coactus feci, F-E-C-I. Look that word up. Coactus feci. You have caused me to do. Some people would sign their tickets like that. Coactus feci. That means because you can't enter into a contract under threat, duress, and coercion. This is why you always have to learn how to sign your name without liability, because you can find yourself in a situation where a public servant is going to force you to sign something. So instead of arguing with him, you need to master the technique of just signing it in such a way where you're not accepting liability for it. That's the key. All right. Attorneys, these laws. Okay, so let's look. It says, thank you so much. I'm learning things I didn't even know, though I knew some of the information. Much appreciated. You're welcome. An issue with a federal court case under the color, my name is Solar Energy God. Okay. I don't know what you mean by that. I appreciate you, sir. I appreciate you. The DMV shares your info with everyone. You don't want having your info. Well, they're going to do that. They sell info all through the public. They sell anything associated with that social security number because it's in the public domain. Yusef, did you ever get a chance to read Authority of Law by Charles A. Wiseman? Not yet. Can't thank you enough for your time. I appreciate you. Reading powerful, appreciate you. What would the letter state to the public defender? It's called a letter of rogatory. You can read a copy of it on this website. We have a video called Using an Attorney as a Private International Lawyer, as an international lawyer. And also you can read creditors and their bonds. At the in the section where it's giving you all the templates, you have a letter of rogatory in there too. Thanks for all that you do. I learn because of much love and respect. Can I do a EIN for the all caps name and use it to get a job, gun, etc.? No, you can't. No. Also, have you received my document, memorandum, and motion to set aside judgment for lack of subject matter jurisdiction? I may have. I don't know. Damn, you awesome. I appreciate you. Is there any reason to set up a trust for my new nonprofit, maybe for personal donations, for grants? Is a 501c entity enough? Well, when you use a 501c3, that's the public giving you permission to not get taxed. When you're private, you're automatically not taxed by default. All right, so yes, it depends on what you're looking for. Are you looking for some sort of mitigate your tax liability? Are you seeking to try to for anonymity? You know, what is it that you're seeking? That's the first thing I have to make a determination of. All right, you want to conduct business and you want to limit your taxable tax liability because you have investors and you want to maximize their return on the investment. This is what a real estate investment trust does. So these are questions you have to ask yourself if you're going to have a trust. The first question I'm going to ask is it public or private? If it's public, it's statutory. That means it's regulated by the statute. If it's private, that means it's regulated by contract. You got to understand contracts. You're on top of the bell curve. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge. Much appreciated. You're welcome. Without recourse, then your name. That's a good one. Thanks, Yusef, for your time and effort in teaching us. You're welcome. How do you deal with the VIN? You can't. You got to find a way to get a car without a VIN number. It's my understanding wealthy people have been able to do it. I just haven't reached that level of wealth, where, you can order yours directly from the manufacturer without a VIN number. I have a legal custody of certain records. Okay, big ups to Yusef. Only one, not spreading misinformation. I appreciate that. Aiming to be as financially efficient as possible with funding the mission to end veteran homelessness and clear the forest of wildfire hazards in one fell swoop. Okay, well, that's a public service. Well, I would seek a 501c3. All right, that's what I would use because you're doing something for the public. You're doing something that's straight for the public. All right, so can you work your expertise concerning tech support and the SBC University platform? Can't log in a study case law. Okay, well, man, you have to say that. We answer all, our technical questions. I will, we don't have many problems on there. So if you contact me, I will resolve the issue for you. If you can't log in, did you pay? That's the first thing we need to look at. Is your account current? Because the only reason you can access things is because your account is not current monetarily. That is the only reason anybody can access SBC University. Either a payment wasn't not acknowledged by the system, or it expired and you didn't renew your subscription. Just bought a 369 book you recommended. Okay, great. Great, great. I just got mine downstairs. I got to look at it now. I have an 8 p.m. appointment at a passport office to apply for a non-citizen passport. Any advice? Yeah, watch the video that's on this channel. It's not my information. Or go to Copper Moonshine Steels, put in Copper Moonshine Steels, and then Diplomatic Immunity, and go to their website and read everything on their website because that's where the information came from. Yeah, okay. That's it. Appreciate you. I will be back on tomorrow for the second part. All right. Peace to the gods and goddesses. You've been listening to the hottest radio network on the planet, High Frequency Radio. My name is Yusef. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you're new to the channel, don't worry. I'm always going to have some good information for you. Look at some of our old videos if you're interested in this subject. And make sure you donate to the platform. Even when my video is off, you still can donate. All right, hit that donation button. I would appreciate it. Peace to the gods. I'll see y'all on the next video live stream. Peace. I'm out.